I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
So some of you know about, my past life, and I had to encounter this person called Steel Toe for reasons we don't need to get too far into. But I had to encounter this Steel Toe person. His name is Aaron Imholt, and he is quite the character. Why is this window screwed up? Who cares? So he's quite the character. And long story short, while hanging out over a period of a couple months with Aaron and his ex-wife, his ex-wife ended up leaving him, and she ended up kind of hanging out with me and Lady Raggets for a while. That's the simplest PG version I got for you, okay? So very simple, very straightforward. This is during a really tumultuous time. Our nanny ended up leaving our employment right in about the worst possible time. It was near the end of the school year, and the schedule that we had required 3 drivers. So it needed Lady Raggets, me, and a nanny, just because kids were everywhere at all different times. It was a very, very bad schedule. But we had the nanny who was able to do most of that most of the time. But then when she left our employment, we didn't have her anymore. So Steel Toe's former wife stepped in to take over. And there's a whole lot of story about that. I was in the chat room of my friend Haley from the Pretty Antisocial podcast, which is a great show if you want to learn about like Dabbleverse drama. I don't recommend doing that. If you don't know what you're doing, it's very dangerous. But I was watching her show the other day for just a little bit, and I told a little story because while his wife April was living at our house and helping out with sort of nannying activities, driving the kids around and stuff, I mentioned that Aaron asked me for gas money. He was crying about like how expensive it was getting because she had to drive my kids around and stuff like that. And by had to, I mean, he presented this idea to me. He's like, oh, she can just stay down here with you at your house. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a fine idea. And so like, she was helping out and our schedule was just crazy. It was crippling. And our schedule is actually probably a very large contributor to a lot of my issues with things. It was constant oppressive stress. I love the hell out of my kids. I had no problem like conceptually wanting to get them everywhere they needed to go. It was just difficult because my God, like we were just always busy. This is a lot of backstory you don't really need. So he decided to call me out on this. And so that's where we're sitting right now. So I'm going to play a 5-minute clip of him talking about this. Because all I did was in this chat, like I was just like, yeah, he was like bitching about gas money and stuff like that. And that was about it. So now he has decided to talk about it. And one of the things that I always make sure to do is, you'll see. Okay. So we'll just, let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'm sorry. He's not a dapper fellow. I'll see if I can play. Can I play this? It doesn't have a speed up. Okay. Sorry.
Husey before we started the show today. And I guess the gossipy little girl show What's Haley? My sister Haley. She does a gossipy little.
Now, if you want to
song,
like know
show for
about
200 people.
what you're about to experience, if you've
And
never
now that
watched
started,
his
he
show,
could make it, who
oh,
knows?
it's bad.
But apparently, Nick was in her free chat, and I feel bad for the guy.
Okay, sorry. I forgot about the echo. My bad. I got it. Already, we've got the first lie. That was not a free chat. It was her member chat. If you're gonna like say I'm a simp for Haley, you better get it right. It was her member chat. It was a members only show.
I do. I will say
he does
prayed
feel bad
him
for me.
at
I can
church
tell
because he's a mess. And he's destroyed his life, and
dead.
I kind of want. I mean, the whole thing was over 2 years ago. We only knew each other for a few months. Like, come on, you don't. But apparently, he spends all day thinking about me, and he goes in chat rooms and he needs to talk about me. It's like,
this niglet has talked about me every single day, everyone since April 15th or so of 2024, every single day. And he's like, he spends all his time thinking about me and like talking about me. It's like, I really don't talk about him that much at all. I'll like go to shows that are talking about him from time to time and I'm laughing and I'll like share a story or whatever because it's funny. That's about it. But he brings me up every single day for 2 fucking years. This is the loser who took out a restraining order on me, by the way. Again, after talking about the most private aspects of my life, to the internet for no reason, no discernible purpose, stuff that was never meant to be shared to anybody, that I had gone to great lengths to keep very private, all of that, he just decided to spill it. Also, very possibly snitched to the cops. Hard to say. We don't need to get into that too much. But this guy, seriously, since you can go check his show, it's since about April 15th, has been talking about me every single day. It's wild. It's wild. But that being said, I'll talk about him from time to time, yeah. Especially when he says something retarded.
It's like Katie Heron with Regina George. She just can't stop with the word vomit. It keeps coming up.
Yeah,
so apparently he said something, and this is a very interesting thing he does, and it came up on Hughesy's show from Pat Dixon.
Okay, now I want you to pay attention to what he's going to tell you roughly what I said, and then he's going to go into his explanation to tell you why I'm a liar. I want you to pay very, very close attention to the details of his explanation, because I don't say what I can't prove, especially when it comes to this.
Pat Dixon is an interesting guy, too. He's a guy who's infinite times smaller than we are, but he's always had...
I met Pat Dixon. He is shorter. That's true.
This weird bug up his ass about me. I've never been on a show with the guy. I've never met...
I did not inspect his ass for a bug. That is... So I can't verify that one.
Met the guy. Never really covered the guy at all. But he has special daggers for me. I do that to people. Well, anyway, Nick is in this chat. Bunch of dudes are hanging out in some chick's chat. That is not...
There are no women in the Pretty Antisocial podcast chat. 0. None. Just a bunch of guys hanging around. Also, so what? Why would that be weird?
Not simp worthy at all. And unfortunately, Nick is still living in over 2 years ago, which again, I
think he meant, unfortunately, Nick is still living. I think that's actually what he meant, but he did have to go ahead and close, like continue that phrase.
Fine.
What? No! Don't do that.
Sad. I find it pathetic, but whatever. All right. People cope the way they cope.
That's true.
I've
People
never been addicted to hard drugs or addicted to alcohol. There, but for the grace of God, go on.
And again, here we go. Number 2. This guy would drink a 12-pack of beer every day and say that he doesn't drink much. Like, and I don't care. I'm not judging anybody. He had this long conversation with me one time. He's just, bitching and moaning about how everybody keeps calling him an alcoholic and he's not addicted to alcohol. And it was like, you start drinking at 9 a.m. I'm a proper liquor and I wait until 9 p.m. to start drinking. He started drinking at 9 a.m. every day, but like, I don't care. It was just a thing.
Recovery is different for everybody. I just don't think hanging on to spite is a good idea. He tells this story.
You don't think hanging on to spite's a good idea? How's that HRO thing going, I guess? Sorry. To me, this is unreal. Because again, so I told him the world would be a better place if he... that was back, I think, like April 18th of 2024. And then he blocked me. And then that was fine. Like I was okay. I didn't ever really need to talk about him again. Until again, he spilled my entire life onto the internet. Again, some of the most private shit that did not need to be out.
This is a magic that Nick has. Is he lies
every little thing he does is
constantly,
magic.
all the time. Pretty much, if his mouth is moving, he's lying.
That's true.
But he lies in a way where I think he convinces himself it's true. He
Yes.
takes a sliver of truth and then extrapolates it into something not resembling reality. And he said this thing about me that Pat brought up on Hughesy's show, or I never would have known about it.
This is great.
He said, Aaron asked me for gas money. Now, first of all, I'm an adult male. Never asked anybody for gas money before.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
Gas money? When did I ask Nick for gas money? When the fuck did And then I went, oh, shit, that's right.
That's right.
Listen to this. So remember...
Listen to how I asked Nick for gas money. I love that. That's beautiful in and of itself right there. He's like, oh, then I remembered I did do that. Digital Boone says, did April have no Wi-Fi in the guest house? Were you attracted to her? I'm not asking if you did anything with her. April didn't have Wi-Fi in the guest house because she was almost never there. She had stuff there. And the only reason she didn't have Wi-Fi in the guest house is because she didn't have it set up. That the moment that she was there at the guest house more, I keeps calling it a guest house because I'm adopting what you said. It wasn't a guest house. It's just a second house that we owned on an adjacent property. There's been some misinformation that it was on the same property. It was not. So it was on an adjacent property, but like the driveways are actually far, like not far away, probably fifth of a mile to a quarter mile. You have to like go around. The properties touch in the back. They touch ass cheeks. So, but she just didn't stay there very often. Was I attracted to her? Absolutely. She's a gorgeous woman. And very, very cool. Like just in general. So I wish her nothing but the best. That's all a past time and everything. And I want her to have a fantastic life. But yeah, she's beautiful. And then Digital Boone says, also, didn't Aaron have a back door to your Wi-Fi or something installed where he could spy on your activities? No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess that's possible, but I don't think so. He's not like tech savvy or anything. So here we go. Holly Movie Star says, is he upset your pee-pee was a better masseuse than he? You know what? No comment. Yes. Damn it. Keep doing that.
If you know the story, Nick's nanny quit on him because he was a junkie and
That's
she was
not
fucking
correct.
tired of it. So she quit. She left.
The nanny had no idea about any drugs. Like, this is the thing Aaron does. He just makes shit up. Aaron doesn't like me, thinks I'm a junkie or whatever, was a junkie. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But so then everybody does. And everybody knows this all the time. So that's very common. But no, that's not why she quit. Why she quit is not something I'm going to share. But let's just say it didn't have anything to do with drugs.
Nick can't take care of his children. So
I've
April
never been able to.
asked me, she's like, I'm going to volunteer to take up some of the driving and some of the getting food.
This is also not true. This was his idea. He wanted April to take a break from his show because the chat was being mean to her quite a bit. I don't know if you probably don't want to challenge me on this. I keep double clicking and my fingers.
And groceries and stuff like that. I'm going to help out. And obviously, Nick's not going to step up to the plate and do it himself. So he's going to let her do it.
Again, I don't know how I ever got to this far with children. I think I probably crashed out around level 3. But he's right. I have no idea how to get groceries or drive kids anywhere or raise 5 children. Like, I've never done it. This is a ludicrous statement coming from someone who doesn't have his own kids.
And I stepped in. I went, hey, because I saw her getting taken advantage of.
This is the crazy. Sorry, I don't mean to keep pausing it. What he's saying right now is to pay attention to. This is the wildest shit ever. Because he's going to frame this in a very particular way. All right.
Going to completely use her to let her do all of these things. And I said, look, if she's going to do this, you're going to
Look at him acting tough. Like he talked to me about this in some tough way. You're going to compensate her. Blah, 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 blah. Let's just say compensation was given. Plenty of it.
Compensate her for gas, and you're going to compensate her for the groceries.
Yes.
We're not here to buy your kids food.
Yeah.
We're not here to do the running for your Rugrats. That's your job as a parent.
She literally was there to do the running for the Rugrats. She was being hired as a nanny. So I don't know where that came from.
I said, if she does this for you, and she's a big...
By the way, the prior nanny bought literally whatever was needed, wanted, and then I got all the receipts every month. She spent $30,000 a year on food, snacks, and God knows what else. So, when April moved in, I handed her my debit card. But let's keep going.
She can do whatever she wants. You're going to compensate her for her
You're
gas,
going to compensate
for
her.
the kids around, and you're going to compensate her for the fucking groceries. Point, period, end of story. Oh, and by the way, still went and bought shit. He never picked up a tab. Never once. So
I bought everything while we were hanging out. It actually made him mad because I would pay for the meals if we were going to go hang out in the Twin Cities or something. I would buy the hotel rooms. I paid for everything. Never asked for a dime for drugs, which he did plenty of.
Just a great guy I am. What can I say? But it's wild that I don't know if he believes what he said or if he's just so stuck in 2 years ago that he's like, I have to say this story about Aaron because maybe if Aaron looks bad, my arrest will go away. I'll have never been on drugs.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Have fallen apart.
Actually.
Now, obviously, that's not going to happen.
Oh, it isn't? Fuck.
But I think that's got to be the mindset. So I just wanted to clear up a little myth before it festered into fact. In reality, I was trying to stop April from being taken advantage of by a lazy, responsibility-dodging junkie.
Exactly.
And I said, pay her for, do the right thing.
Do the
pay her
right
for the fucking
thing.
gas she's using doing your job because your nanny couldn't stand being around you anymore.
Yep.
And comp her for the fucking groceries she buys.
Comp her for the groceries.
He's allergic to it. All right.
I gave her a house, a 3,500 square foot house on 7 3/4 acres of land to live in rent-free for as long as she wanted. For as long as she wanted. That was 7 months. I paid for her truck for 6 or 7 months. I can't remember exactly when the transition took place. I paid for all of her groceries. I bought her clothes, whatever she needed, anything and everything. This is like the most insane thing I've heard. We're almost.
All right. I'm seeing some very
Done with
funny
this.
things in the chat. Some of them are a little, you guys, look, you
Very
guys are
funny
very
things.
fucking mean. You guys are mean girls.
In fact,
By the way, somebody said you had Pat Dixon on your channel once. You interviewed him. Oh
Okay.
my God. If I did,
this is all that matters. He's got 20 seconds of talking about Pat Dixon. Not important. Now, wouldn't it be a shame if there existed some evidence? Wouldn't it be a shame if somehow, I don't know how this could possibly happen, if there is a way to actually whip out a little bit of proof? That would be nuts. I'm going to share with you 2 never before seen private messages. The first one's only a partial message, just because the rest of the message wasn't really necessary for it. But it's okay, because there's a second one. And this first one is from April. Okay. Notice the quotes. Quote, okay, please try to get a card for gas and groceries. My household finances are getting strained. Oh man, not gas and groceries. And then she says, we all need to have a discussion about this, I think, about if I'm going to do this work for y'all, taking over for Cheney, which I'd really like to do, etc., etc., etc. So that's kind of interesting, that little quote there. But of course, that's just the precursor to is this yeah. Let's see about that. Let's see. Remember, the noble savage here is telling everybody that he straightened me out, so I didn't take advantage of April, right? So I didn't take advantage of April. Like that would be crazy for me to do that. And that actually would, but here we go. So here's from Aaron. Also, sorry to bring this up, but if she's going to be there driving every day, the gas consumption is tasting something on his mind. He meant starting to eat into the business balance, and the groceries and fast food are starting to add up on this end too. Is there anything we can work out for while she's doing kids driving stuff? That is that is his message. His message isn't about April. His message was never about, because I didn't take advantage of her. Again, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I happily, took over finances. She got divorced. Things were, really tough for her. And I did that until she got employed, which was from, they split up in early April. Weird. And then that was through, I believe, December of 2024. So, of course I paid for everything. Like what an insane proposition. But like this idea that he was like, she needs to be compensated. It's never, ever about anyone else with Aaron. It is never once about anyone else. He's a complete lying fact. And the thing is, one day, I guess maybe he'll learn. I don't say any of this stuff without being able to prove it. Not a single fucking thing. Every single story is backed up by text messages. There's a bunch of other stories. There's a bunch of other things I could talk about, but I can't back all of them up. So there's no purpose in bringing them up.
Why does the sad, washed-up podcaster Aaron M. Holter keep sneaking back to the Nick Salt Lick like a desperate cum-guzzling deer? Mega Micropene vibes.
He is trying to generate controversy because his show, the numbers are they're trending downward. And, you know, like there's all sorts of reasons that can happen. I'm not even going to sit here and shit on him. I think he does a terrible show just in general, but like, so what? Like I have personal animus. And so I could be biased, right? I'm not opposed to that concept or anything like that. And I'll happily say I'm likely very biased against him. So I think his show's kind of trash, but so what? That doesn't mean anything. All sorts of reasons why a show can have a downward trend in views and interaction and engagement. He's trying to start a fight because he can't figure out how to get his own show going. But hey, that's just how it is. Speaking of how it is, what's up, Bronca? He says, if you're demanding money off your woman, you may be a pimp. If you're begging for money off your woman, you may be a cuck. Two different things. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And again, all I did was say that because I think the context of my discussion on Pretty Antisocial, which was just in the comments, was that I don't think his finances are as stable as he likes to represent. That shouldn't surprise anybody at all. He's mired in all sorts of legal bills and who knows what else. And his show isn't making as much money. Times are tough out in the streets of YouTube. Like it's hard. You talk to a lot of people. If they're honest with you, a lot of people have been feeling the pressure of, just sort of reduced stuff. We're in a recession. Like we're not in a recession officially, but we're in a inflation heavy economy, and, money towards live streamers isn't as prevalent as it was. There's also a lot more live streamers, out in similar genres than there were a couple years back. So things are just different. You have to work in different ways, and you have to have different expectations. But I don't think his money situation's all that good. I mean, he was complaining to me about not having gas money for the driving and I think I mentioned for the driving that April was doing. But it's amazing, like that little comment right there completely set him off on this, where he literally generated a fantasy of one confronting me ever, which the frustrating thing is he has to know you wouldn't ever have to confront me on this, especially at that time. I was happy to pay for anything. It didn't matter. I was in a situation where money was insanely good due to the Rumble contract that I had, and just things were going fantastic and everything was good. I had no problem paying for things. And so no complaining. I would happily do that. So he wouldn't have to do anything. We literally didn't have time to set up payment for her from the time that she started working with us to the time that, they broke up. It was fucking crazy.
And hey, Adam.
Hey, Dirty Rat.
Dirty Rat's a good boy. He is. Check him out on the YouTube channel.